How we doing, folks? Welcome into this edition of Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. You got questions, and you're in luck, because I have answers. It is time for a Rumors mailbag show, where you guys submit your questions to us, and we react to them as we do each and every week here on the channel. And before we get too further along in today's show, want to make sure you're subscribed to Ravens Rundown for the latest happenings on your Baltimore Ravens all off-season long, where there is no off-season here on the channel. We're bringing you daily news and rumors, got our interactive mailbags, breaking news anytime the Ravens make a signing or trade. We bring you a video as quick as we can here on the channel. And all month long, we have been battling the Browns report to see who can pick up the most subs this month. And as we have just a few days left in the month of June, things are tightening up pretty close between the two channels. Ravens just over 101 new subs. Browns at 109 at the moment. So, do your part. Let's beat the Browns and win this sub battle this month. Subscribe now to Ravens Rundown for free. YouTube.com/RavensTV. Let's get started here with our first question from Rooster. Rooster wants to know, any chance the Ravens trade for Brandon Aiyuk? Well, I would say that if you asked me this question a couple of months ago, I would have said the chances were pretty slim. But now the way things have unfolded for Brandon Aiyuk and the San Francisco 49ers in their contract negotiations, I think it's more likely than ever that Brandon Aiyuk could get dealt. When you think about the situation that the Niners are in, they're looking to have to pay Brandon Aiyuk upwards of $30 million after the money that's just been given out to these receivers like St. Brown from the Lions, A.J. Brown getting paid, Justin Jefferson with that record deal, $35 million. And the Niners, with just their money situation, they necessarily can't afford to pay Brandon Aiyuk that type of money right now when you have to factor in, hey, they still got to pay Brock Purdy and some other guys and all that. So there just isn't the money to be able to afford both Brandon Aiyuk and Deebo Samuel, and Samuel's contract a little more friendly than a future contract is for Brandon Aiyuk at this time. So then the next step, all right, what does a trade look like? Well, because of the high price tag of the money that Aiyuk is going to command from his next location, his trade value has gone down. You're likely not going to have to give up a first-round pick if you're going to trade for Brandon Aiyuk, probably something like a second and a fifth. That's very doable for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the money is still an issue with Baltimore, like it is with San Francisco as well, as you're looking at the Ravens trying to find the cash, right? And not just for this year, but then for future years. And that's where things become difficult. I don't think it's impossible, but I wouldn't completely rule it out. Brandon Aiyuk is on the up and up, right? He's coming off the best season of his career where he had over 1,300 yards, close to 18 yards of reception, 7 touchdowns. He has been a lethal piece to this San Francisco 49ers offense. And you think about it, too. Brock Purdy, I believe, is not in the upper echelon of quarterbacks. I would obviously take Lamar Jackson any day over Brock Purdy. I would think that if Aiyuk can put up those statistics with Brock Purdy at quarterback, that he would thrive in the Ravens offense. Putting him with Zay Flowers and Nelson Aguilar, all of a sudden you're looking at, I think, without question, the best offense in the AFC, probably in the entire National Football League, really, at that point. And what have we talked about a lot on this show this offseason? We said that the only team that matters for who the Ravens are competing against is the Kansas City Chiefs. We don't care about the Bengals or the Steelers or the Browns or the Dolphins or Bills or anything like that. It's about measuring yourself up with the Chiefs. And with that type of move, then you go in to 2024 with confidence that you have a better offense than the Kansas City Chiefs if you bring in Brandon Aiyuk. Right now, you're saying to yourself, okay, we're close, but then you put your foot down that you are the better team, that you have the weapons to go win a Super Bowl. Let's ask you, should the Ravens trade for Brandon Aiyuk? I would like to see it happen. I'd be typing T right now in our pinned comment today, but we'll see if it does. I still don't think it's going to happen. What do you guys think? Should the Ravens do it? Should they pull the trigger? Type T for trade, P for pass. Let us know in the comment section below. Give him his flowers. All right, Zin. Should the Ravens consider trading Marlon Humphrey? So the Ravens now have a surplus at the corner position with the draft picks of Nate Wiggins, as well as TJ Tampa, who they selected, obviously, in this year's draft. And everything we've heard about Nate Wiggins is that he's thriving and that he doesn't even look like a rookie despite his young age and everything, that he's coming along nicely and that he's going to be in a position to potentially win one of these starting outside corner jobs when the season begins. You got Brandon Stevens coming off the best season of his career, and he's not going anywhere. So where does that leave Marlon Humphrey? With the injuries that he's had, obviously he's taken a step back. He's not the same player that he once was, but still a very good player. Coming off a year last year where he only played in 10 games, had 1 interception, 5 pass breakups, 26 tackles. I would be very surprised. I think if you're the Baltimore Ravens, you take advantage of having Marlon Humphrey and the depth that you have. Because think about last year with all the injuries that we saw to the corner position, right? When we saw Ronald Darby go down, we saw Marlon Humphrey go down. I mean, you're just another injury or two away from all of a sudden testing that depth you have. So I think if you're Baltimore, you're best to hang on to Marlon Humphrey for this year and to get what you can, the most out of this corner room, because all likelihood you're going to need everybody. Maybe Marlon Humphrey's not starting at outside corner week 1. That's a possibility, depending on how well Wiggins and Stevens play in camp. But even with that said, if one of those goes down, then you have a reliable option in Marlon Humphrey. Or Marlon Humphrey potentially is healthy and looks like the guy he was of old. So, no, I would be shocked. I would not trade Marlon Humphrey. I would hold him for at least this year and then reassess the situation next offseason. Kids next door, all right, Sin, give us a bold prediction for the Ravens this season. I believe, contrary to popular belief, that the Baltimore Ravens are going to be a better team in 2024 than they were in 2023. In 2023, they were a fantastic team, right? Went to the AFC Championship game, had the best record in football, home field advantage, had the MVP in Lamar Jackson, all of that, right? It was a very good year for the Baltimore Ravens. And this year, you had 20-plus free agents. You couldn't bring back everybody. You lose Patrick Queen. You lose Geno Stone. But with what they did in the draft and then also what we saw from the Baltimore Ravens of what they did, with their offense, bringing in Derrick Henry, I think this team is moving in the right direction. And to even take it a step further, too, okay, folks, think about this. The offense really didn't start to get clicking in 2023 till the second half of the year when everybody was getting acclimated with Todd Monken's offensive system. I am of the belief that I think the offense is going to pick up right from where it left off at the end of last year, and that gives you momentum. You should be further along this year, comparably speaking to what you were last year. So are they going to have a better record than they did last year? I mean, that remains to be seen. They have a tougher schedule this year than they did last year, but I think the team overall is going to be better than what they were last year. So that's my bold prediction, a contrarian take, if you will, compared to most folks. I am still a believer that this Ravens team is a contending team and better than what they were in 2023. What's your bold prediction for the Baltimore Ravens in 2024? Weigh in the comment section. Maybe it's an individual. Maybe it's the team. No wrong answers here. Just weigh in. Let us know what you think. Last question comes in from Homelander. Homelander wants to know, if you could bring back any former Ravens player to this year's roster, who would it be and why? That's a good question, Homelander. And I got to tell you, the guy I would love to see on this Ravens team, we've talked about the safety position having a lack of depth. That's been an ongoing discussion. Could you imagine what Ed Reed would be like with this Ravens team and being able to use 3 safeties with Marcus Williams, Kyle Hamilton, and Ed Reed? I mean, no one would be getting past that secondary. It would be game over for everybody involved. I would love to see that potentially. Prime Ed Reed with this Ravens team would be a lot of fun. I know a lot of you will point to Ray Lewis, but you got Roquan Smith there. So, I mean, Ray wouldn't be my first choice, as crazy as that sounds. That's not a diss on Ray at all. But adding Ed Reed to this team would be a whole lot of fun. Who is your favorite former Ravens player? So many to choose from in this franchise's great history. Weigh in. Let us know in the comment section who that guy is. Subscribe now to Ravens Rundown for continuing off-season coverage. Hope you have a great weekend. I'm Tyler Jones. Subscribe now for free. We'll see you next time.